Hello, everyone. This is Jack Harvell with Z9Tracker.com, and I'm very excited to have you here, and I'm definitely looking forward to giving you the inside look at Z9 Tracker. Now, I'm not one for a lot of fluff, and I definitely want to respect your time, so let's jump right into it. Okay, so the purpose of this introductory video is just to give you an overview of the most important features included with Z9 Tracker, explain how they're different than your current tracker, and then also explain why they're important to you as an Amazon seller. Now, there's going to be a walkthrough video below this video that's going to dive into the back end of the tracker, but I highly recommend that you watch this first since the features are pretty advanced and they do need some explaining. So first things first, what is Z9 Tracker and why do you need anything different from the current keyword tracker that you're using? Well, the short of it is we've developed the most advanced Amazon keyword and BSR rank tracker available in the market. Now, that may sound cocky, but from hourly frequency tracking to multi-category tracking to keyword versus BSR correlations to annotations and overlays, you're going to be able to extract data from this tracking software that you simply had no idea you were missing. And by the end of the presentation, this video, I am certain that you're going to agree with me that other trackers are falling short on giving you the kind of data that you need in order to make intelligent decisions with your listing optimization and your promotions. Okay, our first feature is going to be the frequency of keyword and BSR tracking. Now, other trackers are pulling keyword data at most twice a day, and the BSR data is usually pulled once per day. With Z9 Tracker, we're pulling keyword and BSR data at least every 6 hours on standard subscriptions, and for the higher frequency subscriptions, it's going to track both BSR and keywords every hour. So if you pay attention to the graph here, just notice the date. So this is the start of 11/21 to the start of 11/22. Blue line is representing your BSR, and each one of the other lines are representing a keyword ranking. If you notice the dots, each one of these dots is representative of a different data pool, right? So it pulls the BSR for this time, and then each one of the keywords is the same. It pulls keyword ranking in for this hour, this hour, this hour, this hour. So you have 24 data points within any given day on BSR and all of your keywords. Now, why is this feature important to you as an Amazon seller? Well, on Amazon, keyword positions and BSR change throughout the day based on a lot of different factors. If you make a change on your listing or you start a promotion with other trackers, you're going to have to wait for any of the updates to show up whenever they decide to pull the data. And usually there's a few hours difference between when the tracker pulls the data, like say it pulls a keyword ranking right now, and then it pulls the BSR 6 or 12 or 24 hours later. You're going to have a disparity in that time frame for when the separate data points are pulled, which doesn't allow you to associate that keyword position to any sort of BSR improvement or decline unless you're looking at it manually, which kind of defeats the purpose of a tracker. So basically, you're not going to be in control of that frequency or the time in which it tracks it, which means you're not in control of the data. Now, the purpose for us increasing that keyword tracking frequency is to be able to draw correlations between keyword ranking positions and BSR improvement or decline. And in order to make those correlations, we have to see them in shorter timeframes. And those timeframes for each of the data pools have to be as close as possible to each other. So if I get keyword now, I need to get BSR relatively soon before or after that keyword is ranked, right? So I know what the difference is on the next data pool, all right? So if you don't have that, otherwise like a keyword could have ranked and spiked your BSR, then both the BSR and the keyword drop before your current rank tracker even knows there was a change. And yes, this happens a lot more than you might think, especially when you're doing any type of promotion or you're making changes to your listing, or when your competition is doing the same. If they're doing promotion, it's affecting your rankings, it's affecting your BSR. So over time with this feature, what you're going to be able to do is fine tune your listing optimization and your promotions to only the keywords that have the largest impact on your BSR. So let's say, for instance, you have a grouping of 5 keywords that you pull from a customer search and report in sponsored ads, which is a great place to start so that you see that you convert well. But do know that there's a difference between where you convert well in an ad environment and where you convert well in an organic ranking position, because you're stacked up against completely different products in different views across sponsored ads than you would be in an organic ranking position. So the CTR is not going to be the same. That's the click-through rate. It's not going to be the same in your organic ranking position. But I digress. That's a good place to start for the keywords, but you still need more data to see how your listing is impacted by that keyword ranking in that organic ranking position. So if you have it in a tracker like Z9 Tracker, you can differentiate between those keywords that perform well in those organic ranking environments and the ones that don't. So let's say that you find 2 out of the 5 or 4 or 5 out of the 10 that have a really profound impact on your BSR in a positive way. Then you can narrow your focus on only those keywords that matter the most, which makes your promotions far more efficient and less costly. Now, without having that data, you're not going to be able to draw these correlations, and you're going to be oblivious to the exact organic ranking positions that have that largest impact on your BSR, which is obviously what influences your bottom line. So we don't accept not having that data, so that's why we included the higher frequency of tracking, and we hope that you won't accept it anymore either. All right, so let's move on to our next feature, which is going to be annotations. And I love these. This is awesome. So with this feature, you're going to be able to mark time with any relevant changes to your listing, from a price change to an image change to a title optimization or copy optimization. And then that's going to show up across all of your keyword and all of your BSR graphs, all your combination graphs. And that's going to allow you to correlate the impact that that change is making on your keyword ranking and your BSR ranking. And you can also mark time for promotions. You can set them up for future dates or even previous dates if you forget to add them in on the right time. Say you're starting a promotion today, you forget to add it in, you can come in tomorrow or the next day and backdate that promotion. So if you take a look at this vertical line right here, this is showing a promotion, and it's the vertical line on the time frame saying this is when the promotion started, and you can see after the fact what happened to your BSR and keyword ranking position. You can edit these promotions after you put them in. You can be as detailed as possible. You can adjust the times, adjust the titles as much as you want to. You can have an unlimited annotations in here. All right, they're available in all views from BSR versus price to BSR versus keyword and any keyword graph or compare screen. You're also going to be able to you can toggle them on and off. You can hide the annotations if you don't want to see them in any particular view for whatever reason. So I know that some Amazon seller softwares will allow you to do this, but typically, I mean, from what I've seen, it's only on BSR, and they're not doing this on keywords. And most of them are like in some sort of note fashion, so it's not time specific. So that makes it harder to visually correlate like when exactly you had that BSR keyword improvement. But in Z9 Tracker, the annotations are, again, they're tracked across all the data, so it makes it easy to see that impact across the board in all the views that you have. So why are the annotations important? So much like seeing correlations between keyword movement and BSR, annotations are going to allow you to see that correlation between an optimization that you do or a promotion that you do and the impact that it's going to have on that keyword movement or BSR movement. So I know it's fairly self-explanatory, but I'm hoping that you're seeing the power of this. Like we're stacking correlations in your favor. And this is to make sure that you're hyper-focused only on the things that truly impact your bottom line. And then we're also trying to reduce the amount of time that it takes to reach that level of focus. So in the amount of time, like the data that you get within a couple of days is typically more than you would get in a full month from most of the other trackers. It's like the tracking portion of these trackers was an afterthought. Okay, I'm not trying to talk down to any other trackers, but we just didn't find them very useful to us. Like we wanted to see more data faster based on the things that we were doing. Okay, so now the next feature is one of the most important for the future of where Amazon is going, and that's going to be multiple category tracking. Now this one's huge, and it requires a little bit of explanation. So all trackers that we know of on the market, they're only tracking all department rankings. All right, now why is that a bad thing? All right, I'm going to show you. I'm going to pull up Amazon, and here we are in the regular search bar for Amazon, and I'm going to enter in a keyword. All right, so we're going to go for granola bars. All right, so notice that I still have all departments selected. Now, some of you may know this happens, but as it relates to a keyword tracker, I'm going to show you why if they're tracking all departments in a case like this, it doesn't really matter. What Amazon is doing in this case is it's automatically shifting you over to a top level category. Okay, so you're not seeing the results in all departments. Your tracker is tracking all departments, but it's not tracking grocery and gourmet food. And there is a difference. Now, in some cases, it's not too much of a difference, but there is a difference. Notice this is one of the products that we're tracking right now in the test account. And in this view on grocery and gourmet food, it's in position 6. So you have the 3 sponsored ads here: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right. So let's go look at all departments. All right. So they have their sponsored ads up here: 1, 2. And these are the organic ranking positions: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They're number 8. So 8 in all departments and number 6 in grocery and gourmet food. All right, so that top level department, it's obviously a better ranking, and this is a product that actually has really great BSR, like it's in the like 160, I think, right now in grocery and gourmet food. So they've done their promotions right, where they're ranked really well across all of their individual categories. But there is a difference between a ranking position in all departments and a top level category, and there's also a difference even further down. So if we look at this product down at the BSR, this product will have a different keyword ranking for the keyword granola bars in all of these different categories. So if someone were to go directly to breakfast and cereal bars and do a search for granola bars in there, this product is going to have a ranking for that. That may be similar to the all departments or the grocery and gourmet food, but in a lot of cases, it is different. Okay, so when you look at the difference between all of these different categories, so it's grocery, gourmet food, breakfast foods, breakfast and cereal bars, whole grain, granola, snack foods, and bars, it will have a different keyword ranking in all of those categories for the keyword granola bars. Okay, so now that you understand what it is that Amazon's doing in this particular case, they're automatically shifting that keyword. Now let me give you another example. Let's go for beef jerky. Now in this case, if you look at the top, yes, it is showing results in grocery and gourmet food, so it's not in all departments ranking, but what Amazon's doing up here is they're actually landing you in the lower level node of jerky and dried meats. All right, so beef jerky is going to have different ranking positions for multiple products. Some can be still the same, again, if they have like really good promotion, but for beef jerky, you're going to have different results in jerky and dried meats. You're going to have different product results in snack foods, and you're going to have different results in grocery and gourmet food, and you'll have different results in all departments. So just kind of going back to the slide here, noticing what we're doing here is tracking the keyword in all departments and in grocery and gourmet food. All right. Now in the future, we're going to move to all category tracking. But for the time being, we want users to get accustomed to the interface before introducing more data points, because we already track all categories. But when you compress them all into one view, it can be actually kind of cumbersome to sift through all the data to find out what's most important. But the reason we want to track all of the individual categories, subcategories, and nodes is because we see Amazon moving more and more to keyword category association. And what that's doing is reducing the amount of times the customer has to click on something to make a buying decision. So as Amazon refines their keywords, they're getting deeper and deeper on the long tail searches into categories that produce the most sales. And as they progress deeper in this direction, you're going to want to know where you rank in those different categories and nodes that your product is assigned to. Okay. Now, I don't want to confuse the product BSR in multiple categories. So I'm not talking about the #1 bestseller in the lowest level node. That's not what I'm talking about. We're actually talking about the keyword ranking in those individual categories. So if you were to click over in the left navigation, do a keyword search in those, let me actually pull it up. If you were to do a keyword search in snack foods for beef jerky, that's what I'm talking about, like the keyword position for that individual subcategory. So this would be a top level category. So you have all departments, top level category, subcategory, and then usually it's either a second subcategory and a node, but it could be 4, 5, in some cases 6 different categories that you're ranking in. Okay. So I just want to make sure that that was clear on that front. And another aspect of this is like deeper in the buying cycle. Like if I go to all departments for beef jerky, and then I click on a product, and then notice here, I'm in grocery and gourmet food. If I refine my search from here, then all the keywords that they're searching at that point, so say I wanted teriyaki beef jerky and not just the original, I research teriyaki beef jerky in grocery and gourmet food. This happens a lot. Like people get deeper in the buying funnel and they refine their search. And that's where like keyword traffic is coming from, deeper in the buying funnel, all right? So now I do want to make sure that you understand sometimes the rankings are very close, but many times they're very far apart, all right? And you're going to rank in different positions across these categories for a variety of keywords that you're indexed for. But knowing where you rank is the first step in improving that keyword position across all categories. And when you do this, you pick up as many sales as possible deep into the buying funnel. And when Amazon continues to update for keyword category association, then you're going to be ahead of the game in knowing where your product ranks, and you're going to be able to improve on those keyword positions in the categories that improve your BSR the most. So do understand this, like once you see a keyword jump like this in all departments, if your BSR doesn't improve or doesn't decrease, then that's not really all that important to you. But if it does, if it moves in a subcategory or in a node, that is important to you. So there's another correlation that's being stacked. All right. Now, the other feature that I want to touch on, which you've already seen in the images, is the BSR overlay. So you can see the BSR overlay here, but I'm making it a little bit more prominent here. And you might be wondering why this BSR is fluctuating so much. This is something that we're able to see, which is pretty awesome. It's this is normal kind of traffic patterns, right, throughout the day. You have peak traffic times and then lulls, peak traffic times, lulls, peak traffic times, lulls. This isn't really an impact of any particular keyword, even though it may look like that, But you wouldn't know that, and you wouldn't see that data unless you're tracking it. Okay, so this is what the BSR overlay looks like. And even though you've seen it, I still want to touch on it because other keyword trackers are using separate views, and we added it into all of the keyword graphs so that you can make correlations between keyword movement and the BSR movement, and also same with like the annotations. Now, I think this is pretty self-explanatory to how it can help you as a seller, but just in case, when you can see how a keyword increases or decreases impacts the BSR movement in the same graph, it's going to allow you to make decisions on those keywords more accurately and much faster than any other tracker. So a keyword drop that has 0 impact on BSR is probably not worth your time, but a higher keyword ranking that has sustained BSR improvement is going to provide an area of focus for you to ramp promotions or sponsored ads or AMS or your optimization to push those keywords even further or to stabilize it and maintain that BSR. And the only way you're going to do that and the only way you're going to get that data is through Z9 Tracker, because it doesn't exist anywhere else for Amazon sellers. And it's something that will give you a competitive advantage over your competition because you're going to be honed in on the keywords that improve your listing. And you're not going to be wasting time and money on keywords that don't do anything for you. This is seriously as granular as it gets, and we're not even done yet. All right, so the next feature that I want to talk about is the infinite timelines. Now, in other trackers, you're going to be limited to the data that you can view. So if you wanted to see a keyword and BSR comparison in other trackers, you're only going to have that data for like 30 days. And I think some of them have data for up to a year for BSR, but then they cut your keyword data to 30 days. Like you don't have a sustained timeline for where your keywords were at 6 months ago. Like you're not going to be able to view that. So you can't make a connection there. Like, and how that's useful to you is, let's just say you're on a downward trend this month, and for whatever reason you haven't had time to check keywords because you're busy launching other products or for any other reason really. You can know that with Z9 Tracker, the data that you're paying for is going to be there when you come back, right? You're going to be able to condense and expand these views as much as you want to, and you're going to be able to retain the data as long as your product is in the system and your subscription is current and the product is, like I said, in there. Then you're going to be able to keep as much data as you want on that product. It's an infinite timeline that you can narrow your focus on certain time frames. You can slide this back and forth. You can look at the entire thing just to kind of see how it's been acting over the last month. It's really a beautiful view. I love it. All right, so, and again, it's kind of great for narrowing your focus on recent movement once your product has been in the tracker for a while, because this will be a lot of data that's compiled on itself. So you'd probably want to make this timeline kind of really thin and then move it all the way over to the right so you see the most recent activity. Okay, so easily expanding and condensing those timelines, that's a pretty nice little feature. So the next feature I want to talk about is going to be keyword comparisons. Now, this is the compare keywords view. And in this view, you get multi-keyword, multi-category, and BSR comparison in the same time frame, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. And no other tracker does this. So basically what you can do is you can compare up to 5 keywords, any keywords that you select that you want to see against each other in the same view. And you're going to be able to toggle individual departments on and off as needed to get that clearer look. So I know this kind of looks a bit jumbled, but what you can do in this case is any of the keywords that are kind of stagnant, they're not really moving around, you can turn them off. All right, so you can just click on them and it goes away. Click on it, goes away, and then when you click on it again, it comes back in. And you'll be able to see that in the walkthrough, but we're just kind of covering the feature itself here. So you could just stack these keywords on top of each other and notice that it's all departments in grocery and gourmet food. So it's the all departments and then the top level department. Eventually, and now you can kind of see what I was talking about before, where this kind of keyword view can get really cumbersome to deal with if you have like all of the categories. Now that is where we're moving, but at the moment, this is the data that you're going to have to sift through, which is still awesome. Okay. Now I like this because it reduces the amount of time that you have to spend analyzing data, and it gives you that quick view without having to scroll up and down and see what rankings have changed. Okay, so you get you still get kind of the up and down arrows showing you like, all right, these are the keywords that had the most movement in the last day, 7 days, 30 days, but you can then select those keywords from that view and then put them in this graph and basically overlay them. So BSR with the keywords, and you still have the same timeline and the annotations on that view. Okay, or you can also select the next view, which is say keyword stack, all right? And we call this the graph keywords view. Now you can use this view with as many keywords as you want, but it does require you to scroll, all right? And you can limit to only the keywords that you're interested in. And this is easy to do even with tracking like hundreds or thousands of keywords, because the entire interface is going to be, it's a database basically, and it allows you to sort and filter based on whatever parameter you want. All right, so when we get into the video walkthrough of the software, you're going to see how useful that's going to be in sorting through a lot of data very easily. But for this view, it's basically a stack that's going to show you graphs of selected keywords that you can easily scroll up and down. And it's helpful, especially if you have a lot of keyword movement and you're trying to determine which keywords you want to see in that previous compare graph view right here. So if you select all your keywords and then open into a graph keywords view, scroll through them, see which ones you actually want to evaluate, and then go back to the compare keywords view, stack them on top of each other, and then analyze your data. All right, so, and again, as you can see that there's the BSR overlay, multiple categories for each keyword, and you can hide your annotations and hide the legend up in the left as well, so you get that clean view. All right, we're almost at the end, I promise, but I definitely want to cover some of the features that we have in the works that's going to be added in the future. And we already discussed that we're going to be adding in the subcategories and nodes into the tracking, because that's where we feel Amazon is ultimately going based on their most recent algorithmic updates with keyword category association. And my advice is that you get into Z9 Tracker and start getting familiar with those top level categories, like in the compare views. And when we launch the lower level updates, you're going to be familiar enough to avoid any type of information overwhelm. Now, the next feature we're going to be adding is alerts through SMS, text message, and or email for any keyword or BSR movement that drops below a threshold that you set. Now, this may or may not be interesting to you, but we feel that some people will want to know when their most important keywords start moving in the wrong direction so they can get in on it as soon as possible. And with Z9 Tracker, you're going to know which keywords those are based on the hard data. So you can select the keywords that you want to be notified about, and we'd be launching that at some point in the future. Now, we're also working on developing automated keyword suggestions based on correlations of keyword and BSR. Now, these are going to be suggestions, so make sure that when it does roll out that you're validating them as being viable, since it's going to be based on parameters that we're going to refine, but keyword value can be different from one person to the next. So we view this feature as something that can quickly point you in the right direction to evaluate and give you an area of focus for your keyword analysis. But we also may be basing it on parameters that you set as well, but that has yet to be determined. And we're working on it. So if it's something that you're interested in, please let us know so we can prioritize that type of feature and prioritize the ones that you want the most. Now, we're also looking at adding in keyword tracking for where your Amazon listing ranks in Google. And I know this is important to some of our clients, but this is the same as the automated keyword suggestions. We want to know if you're interested in that being added into Z9 Tracker, or if you're using other platforms to monitor it. It's another tentative addition, but we didn't want to wait to launch the baseline of Z9 Tracker, since it's primarily meant to track internal Amazon rankings and BSR, and then do the correlations. Now, finally, I want to cover one last thing, which is the software. I mean, while we've been running this internally for over a year and a half, it actually has a new interface, and it's considered to be in beta. So it may have bugs here and there. So please be patient with that, and simply send us a support request through the upper right corner support link, and that's going to be on this page as well as the internal pages. We put a lot of work into this, and I hope you can see that. But when it comes to bringing on a lot of users and new products in a lot of different categories, it can sometimes reveal something that we've not yet seen. So I assure you that if there are any issues, we're going to be on them very quickly, and we'll get things rolling towards a fix in a timely manner if there are any problems. Now, with all the data that you're going to be getting, I certainly hope you see the value here, but we're also counting on you to help us make this even better. So we're definitely open to suggestions that you may have that would make the data more efficient, or if you have feature recommendations, we're going to welcome it all. So please don't hesitate to reach out to us. Again, you can do so through the support link in the top right corner. All right, now with that being said, I do hope that you are as excited to use Z9 Tracker as we are to launch it. We feel it's above and beyond any other tracker out there, and we want you to feel the same way once you jump in. There's a free 3-day trial on a basic version, which is going to allow you to get in and add some products to see if it's something that that's a fit for you. So I certainly recommend that you take advantage of that. Or if you're all about jumping in with both feet, you can pick up one of the high frequency packages and get started pulling massive amounts of data straight away. The choice is obviously up to you. So again, I'm going to be doing a walkthrough video, which will be posted likely directly beneath this video on the homepage, so that way you can see the inside of the tracking software, some of the other features that weren't outlined here. We just wanted to have this introductory video and explain the value of the most important differences from Z9 Tracker and other trackers before diving into the walkthrough, so that you understand what we're talking about when we're going through that walkthrough. So, all right, so this is Jack Ravel with Z9 Tracker. I want to thank you for your time, and I look forward to hearing any feedback that you might have, and I'll be signing off. I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks.